Teachers, and you're listening to Show X Live with Ken in a student accommodation all the way in Scotland, and Wayne in his white windowless van? Uh-oh, I better get out of here. Enjoy the show!
Hey everybody, and welcome to Show X on VTWProductions.com. You're listening live this Sunday, December 13th, 2015. It's 2 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. GMT. Welcome to the show. We're joined this week, as always, by our good friend Ken. How are you doing today? As I see someone is helping to welcome you on the show today.
I've got a sleepy Doge with me. A sleepy Doge. Hello, sir. I am well. How about yourself?
I'm doing really good today. A little bit lackadaisical. I don't know. Trying to amp up still, trying to get going. A little just kind of lethargic to starting the day, but otherwise, but feeling good, and it is a good day. So we'll try to kick things off today and go ahead and get started with a bit of
functional deviations.
All right. So this weekend, dysfunctional deviations. Ken, what have you been up to? We missed you last week.
Oh no! I got to first off apologize for the last 2 weeks of not being on, actually. I've not been on since like almost a month ago, which is really depressing because this is like my favorite thing to do in the week. So not being here is a very sad thing for me. Never mind you guys. I'm not sorry for you guys. I'm sorry for me. I'm sad I'm not here. No, I'm kidding. I've missed everybody, and I'm glad to be back after my short hiatus. Yeah, I've been up to a thing or two here and there. Oh, geez, let's see. So, yeah, the solo show was killed 2 weeks ago.
My fault.
No, it was my fault. I was a FUD, and I didn't go and check my my licenses to see if I was in date. So I could have broadcasted. Nothing was stopping me per se, other than the fact that I didn't particularly want to subject everybody to Sam Broadcaster every 2.5 minutes saying,
"Oh gosh, yes.
Please register your version of Sam Broadcaster now on spatialaudio.com," or something along those lines. So I decided just to hold off the show and do something of a gaming night instead. Speaking of gaming, see that segue there?
Yeah, look at that.
Professional and stuff. So we do this thing after the show called a gaming night, and tonight I have some freedom. The wife is out on her work night out for the pub, so that's good. So that means I'm here, I'm free. I don't have to go and hang out. Not that I don't enjoy hanging out with her, but I have no obligation to do so. Meaning I can go and play video games all night for a long time. And teaching is stopped for the semester, so I've got no time I need to be at work tomorrow.
So
other
this
than
is like
at some point.
This is your ideal day to basically come and do all of the gaming.
Oh yeah. So my plan is to do all the gaming tonight. So I plan to stay up till 2, maybe 3 o'clock tonight in my time, and mess around playing some Killing Floor 2, which is on its free weekend. Woo! Free weekend!
Yes,
Yay!
so the idea, everyone, is that normally we just kind of mention in some general terms like, hey, we should all play games, and which game, and then we kind of figure out afterwards. The thought today was that since Killing Floor 2 is on a weekend preview for anyone who wants to check it out, you can jump out into Steam now, hint hint, and download Killing Floor 2 and probably have it ready in time for the gaming night tonight. And then jump on with us after the show, and we can all play together, because that game is definitely one to be enjoyed best with friends.
Oh, yes.
And it's also it's got a discount for anybody if you want to actually buy it to play beyond this weekend. So,
but just FYI, it is an awesome game. Kuro picked it up for me a few weeks ago, very kindly, and he did it because he wanted people to play together in the Victory community. So let's do that. Let's do that tonight. Let's all hang out and play some games. It'll be good fun. So I am personally very much looking forward to that. Let's do that. All right. Other than that, I don't know. Last weekend was Kitten's birthday. Kitten features my wife. It was her birthday it was on Monday technically. But on Sundays when we celebrated, we went through to Edinburgh. We went to the Christmas markets. I was saying to Mr. Wayne here just before the show that the last time we were at the Edinburgh Christmas markets was with Wayne. So it was a very sort of it was good to be there, but it was kind of sad because we were like,
Aw.
"Oh, Wade's not here." So we had that. That was good fun. We went out. Now, I'd love to show you guys pictures, but you know how I mentioned before the economics of how I like make the most of my situation with the university in lights.
Yes.
How I managed to make it so that whenever I go anywhere, not only do I save the university money, but I actually save me money too. Well, we did that. I made the most of that, and I managed to get a £480 per night, so like $700 per night place for less than half that. Well, less than half that. So that was pretty sweet. Speaking of sweet, it was the penthouse apartment on top of this beautiful hotel.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic. I definitely spoiled her, and she was very happy. We actually we were above all of Edinburgh looking down. And the really sad thing is, during that time, it was the like floods of Scotland of the year.
Okay.
So there was lots of cars like stuck in rivers. People down below are running to and fro, trying to avoid the bad weather. And there we were above the whole city, looking down, drinking our champagne, going,
Yeah. Look at those
all the
peasants.
poor people.
Look at the wee peasants down there. What are they doing?
When normally we were the peasants, but just this one-off we weren't. So we made the most of it. So that was nice. We enjoyed that thoroughly. It was a good time.
Nice.
We also went out to have sushi in the same place that we went on our first Valentine's 5 years ago. So that was nice. Yeah. Sadly, it's sort of a running joke with me and Kitten. When we first went there, it was our first Valentine's, and so you expect it to be very romantic, and you want to be on your best behavior, right? You don't want to be there making a fool of yourself as the guy by ogling other women, for example. So
probably not.
So we were sitting there eating the sushi in this really nice restaurant, and this redhead, sort of half Oriental, half British girl goes past.
Uh-oh.
She's petite, beautiful, and easy 10 out of 10. Right? Like, she was just naturally beautiful.
Okay.
And before I could catch myself, I was just sort of mouth open as she went past. And at this moment, I thought, oh no, what have I done? I looked over to my then girlfriend and to see if she noticed me ogling. But thankfully, she was too busy, also ogling the beautiful Asian woman.
No, you're usually in a good way when your significant other can equally appreciate general beauty in the world, where both of you are just looking like, well, damn. Some good work was done there.
Yep, so I was sitting thinking to myself, I am a lucky man. My wife can appreciate, well, my girlfriend at the time can appreciate beautiful women as much as me, and it means I can get away with looking. So we made the joke, like, oh, it's a shame she's not here anymore, because we were, like, sort of keeping an eye out to see if she was still working there as a running joke.
Hey, remember her?
Yeah, so that was funny.
Oh, that's a fun trip down memory lane.
Yeah, it was nice, Also, one more thing I wanted to mention. This is what I said I would mention during the show to you, just before the show. I said something along the lines of, I want to talk about geek culture and gaming in general. I had a moment of, I'm not as old as I thought I was, just before.
Yeah. I never get that.
So, I don't mean, I'm not trying to, like, brag here or anything.
I'm so young, look at me, I'm only in my mid-20s and already successful in doing all these
quite
things.
the opposite.
No, of course not.
People are always surprised when I tell them my age, that I'm 24. People are always like, really? But you're a teacher, you look like 30, you should... How are you only 24? You're married, you're a teacher, how are you only 24? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just an old man trapped in a young guy's body. I mean, my ideal night out is like a quiet drink at the pub, then going home early. I mean, that's my ideal night out. Most people my age love going and clubbing and stuff, and I'm just not very stereotypical that way. So I suppose I just sort of give the appearance of somebody older and more boring, because I am. But earlier on today, and that's the other thing. As if you're technologically minded, like a true nerd, like I myself and you are as well, Mr. Wayne,
Yes.
you grow up, and whenever you touch technology, it's not that you're like a genius. It's more that you just get on really well with it. You understand how it functions.
Oh yeah, computers
So
and I
it's
speak the
always
same
been the case.
language. Yes.
Yeah, it's always been the same case that whenever I've been handed a device, a computer, a new bit of hardware for our house, be it a stereo system, whatever, my dad can usually go, I don't know how this works, and I'll look at it and be, oh, you just need to do
Just
this.
do this. Ding, ding.
And
Yep.
it works.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, have you seen it before? And I say, no,
Nope.
I've never seen that in my life. You know, it's just the way we are. It's just,
Yeah.
However, if you throw me into any social situation, I'll probably fall over flat on my face. Literally, if not metaphorically. Right? So, you know, ups and downs. It kind of comes with the self-diagnosed autism. So, so I kind of had a moment earlier on when Kitten, I thought I was losing it, because I, as far as I've seen, at least in academia, the further you go in academia, the more you learn about the hardcore, technological, advanced stuff, the more common stuff you forget. You forget how to use Windows. You forget how to use command prompt. You forget how to, like, Google things. Really basic stuff. So today, Kitten handed me an Xbox pad. And I haven't touched Xbox in 5 years. So I was like, she was like, I'm stuck on this level, could you help me? And I was like, how do you attack?
Oh no!
Like, it was Darksiders 1, right? So
Okay.
it was quite and I've not played that game in years. I was like, I genuinely have no idea what I'm doing. But she handed it to me, and not only did I beat the bit that she's been stuck on for like an hour in one go, but also in less than 3 minutes. And I did it and I unlocked like 3 achievements during the fight of style moves. So while I was doing that, I was sitting thinking, I've still got it. I've still got it. I'm not an old bastard yet. I'm not completely set into my old man mind yet. I can still pick up a game and win. The one thing that I think is going to eventually beat me is when I have a child one day. I think one day I'm going to be sitting with my kids, and they'll say like, I'll be sitting stuck on a game or something, and my kid will come over and be like, oh, I can do that, Dad, and just beat it for me. And when that happens, I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's like the handing over of the crown in the family.
Well, but
I don't know what I will do.
isn't that the moment you're like shooting for as a parent, as a dad?
I don't know if it's competition or if it's a good thing. I don't know if does that mean I should kill the child, or does it mean
that means
I don't know.
you've succeeded at bringing them up right. You know. Well, so there's thoughts to that, right? Because you know we've talked about before the dad who went through the social experiment of basically bringing up the son with video games, going through the same generations he went through in kind of a compressed time frame. And whether his son would still enjoy it, right, and actually really benefited from doing that. And it's one of those things I shout out and kind of throw to other parents. It's highly practical and a good idea to maybe do that if you yourself really appreciate video games and want your children to kind of the same way. And you could even argue the same case with movies and TV and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing wrong, especially in an age when we have Netflix and stuff like this, where we can reach back into a lot of this media. Bring them up. I mean, one of the things I'm trying to get hold of myself right now is every episode of the Animaniacs series, because for me that was like the culmination of my high school watching television kind of deal, and I thought the cartoon was so well written and intelligent. I need to have it so that hopefully I can pass that on to another generation as well, to say like, look, this was not just good but super smart at the time and has a lot of relevance, I think, to the way it was written. And so there's just certain key things like that I would love to share even with like my own children at some point, to be able to say, gosh, you have to appreciate that. I mean, that's what happened with some of my appreciation of music that I have is from my parents, and honestly
That's
my
true,
whole
that's
introduction to technology from my parents. I keep telling myself I need to go find whatever episode it was we did when I did a solo show and interviewed my parents. I need to go back and re-listen to it because I learned so much about my own family from that. But I mean, in a way, for me, that is that ultimate like pride thing. I have succeeded in bringing about this next generation because they can now perform the things that I used to have to do for them on their own successfully. And so it's almost like, you know, a dad teaching his son how to, or daughter, whomever, to work on their car, right? It's teaching your kid to sew, teaching your kid to cook, teach all these kind of life skills and seeing them do it and apply it themselves. To also do that in video games Or to have a kid like pick up a book series that's been sitting on your shelf themselves and be like, hey Dad, I just finished, The Wheel of Time. And you're able to stop and go like, right on, you are my child. Let us discuss this further. We now have another thing we can discuss and be relevant about, right? I would be thrilled by any of those things. But you're right, because there's another piece of that, which is, for us, it was, in my family, it was sports. And it was specifically when my father, he never wrestled himself in high school, but all of us kids did. My brothers and I all did. And there was a moment one time where I was, junior or senior year in high school, and I was wrestling around with my dad. We were all kind of messing around in the living room or something, and I actually got the better of my father. And it was like the first time that had ever happened, because my dad is a big guy, he's really strong. And he was easily stronger than me at this point, way stronger than me. But I just happened to get an angle on him, get a position, I got him locked up. And there was a moment where I was kind of like, oh snap, did I just do that? And he was stuck, and in a way, I almost defeated myself. I let him get out of it, because I was kind of like, whoa, I can't have beat my dad. He's, this, whatever. But at the same time, I think there was a point where I never once thought, oh, I can take my dad. Yeah. It was just like, oh, I actually got him once. Holy cow. Because if it came down to a throwdown, a fight, or something like that, no chance. My dad would just be like,
oh, my dad could still
right?
beat my ass. No doubt.
You know that feeling specifically, right? Your dad is a beast.
I don't think I'll ever beat my dad, and that's okay.
but there was that moment where I think for any parent, it would be that proud moment of saying, I have succeeded in my rearing of a child when they are able to do something for me. But it's funny because I did the same thing where, in a way, what you're talking about with that fear that at some point your child might beat you in a level or something, or have to do it for you, that is a fear, right? Because I hope that I will always game the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And always be able to at least manage what current games are. There's ones that I can do, but I'm not good at. Go look at OS, the freaking rhythm clicking game out there.
Osu.
Yeah, well, it's officially when you load it says, welcome to OS. But yeah,
okay.
we all say Osu because it's what it's spelled like.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where if you look at it, it's like they are... I watch people play it because I can only play maybe 3 stars if I'm really doing good. And then it goes up to 10. And
I really struggled past even the very basic first level, to be honest, with that game. Mainly because it was anime and trash was the main thing. And I found it really tough to get past the first level. Because
well, the key is it's whatever music you choose to download. And there's a lot of maps out there for different music. So it just means you were actually trying to get into anime again, and you just weren't letting it happen.
I try multiple times, and we'll get onto that shortly as well.
But with that, I watched El Campo's daughter, La Campette. She plays that game and is amazing at it. It hurts my brain to watch the maps she goes through, where I'll spectate her game, and I'm just I can't. And she forces me on occasion to play with her, and it's comical at how quickly I fail. And she's just cruising along. I'm just like, I don't get this. My eyes hurt watching what's going on. But yeah, there's a point where you just have to accept the next generation will get you. But I want to, as long as I can, be the one that's able to, do it and say, and actually get it where that happens in the other reverse, right? The kid is always, when I showed my nephews how to play Super Mario Brothers, the very first one, because they were playing the newer Super Mario Brothers on their Wii, and I was like, let me buy you the original Super Mario Brothers. If you're going to play this, you need to go back to the beginning. And I let them play it for a bit, and they were just not getting it, right? Because they were playing Mario Brothers, but the newer one where you could do double jumps and all these kind of crazy things, and if you fell down, you came back in a bubble and a friend popped it, it's just almost like you can't die. And they were getting the game over screen on the first level in Super Mario Brothers, and they were just like, what's going on?
This game sucks.
Well, in a way, they were kind of got me they gave me that look of this is really hard. What's up with this? And so I just quickly grabbed, they might have even challenged me and said, "Oh, okay, Uncle Wayne, where you show us what you can do." And I was like, "All right, boom!" Through the first level like nothing, right? And and it's funny because both their looks were looking at me like, "Are you kidding me?" Right? And I knocked it out, and then I gave it back to them. They were like, "Interesting," and then they did much better, and they were both eventually able to clear that first stage.
Nice.
But it was that whole me level of I got it. I still got it. What? Yay! So just like you're saying, that moment when you get back in and you realize, I'm still a gamer. I can still do these things. It's a good feeling.
And it's the one thing because I know that my body will fail over time. I know that my mind might start to drip as well. But my gaming skill, it better stay, because if nothing else, I want to be able to pick up a controller and play any game, even though I've never touched it before, and still beat the boss first time. That's what I aim for.
I say that's I don't know. There's something about that, like it. Yeah, I need to do well for a long time coming. I will be sad when it goes away. When eventually I can't keep up on their games, because I like being able to do the Dark Horse out of nowhere, where they were surprised at how well I did. Like it also happened in Mario Kart. We were playing Mario Kart, and like the first 2-3 times I was like, "Oh God, yeah, motion controller. This sucks." And then after like 2 laps, and my nephew sitting there just like smirk on his face, "Ha, got you, Uncle Wayne. Yeah, see what's happening." And then the next match, I beat him, and he just had this. I mean, the glare. He almost gave me like the Luigi death glare for it, because he was sitting there looking at the screen, and then slowly turned with this little look on his face of kind of like distrust, and he was like, "Have you played this before?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I've played Mario Kart before. I think I played the Wii one like once." And he was just so like looking at me like, "How could you be good at my game?" And I was like, "I'm a gamer. Deal with it."
I love that. There's nothing more sad. I think I've told the story millions times before, but when I first started dating Kitten, she came over to play Halo, and yeah, that was hilarious. She told me that she was good at Halo. Really?
Oh my gosh!
Come over to my house.
God,
and
well,
the
yeah.
final score was up to 10, right, in a 1-on-1 death match. And guess what the final score was?
10-0.
Worse, 10 and -1.
Was it falling off the map?
She killed herself with a grenade once.
Well, so in a similar sense in Halo specifically, you know, a gal I know, a friend of mine, that was kind of one of her games, right, Halo. And there had been a couple times where we would sit down and play together, you know, back when Halo still had split screen, before Halo 5. But we were sitting on the couch playing, we'd play a little bit of deathmatch. And initially, like anything, if I hadn't been playing for a while, and controller FPS, you know, kind of fail, but once I get warmed up, like, okay, yeah, I got this. And I would start, like, losing initially to her, and then come back and start beating her consistently. And I almost got the same kind of thing, but it almost seemed like I offended her with it, because that was her game, right? And it's kind of like, yeah, sorry about that. I'm just good. So, I say that, and I'd be curious to actually know from people like Paz, because playing FPSs with him, he's that 3 or 4 levels or more higher than me. Like, I have general gaming skill across the board. I can play most games average or a little above.
Yeah.
Paz is amazing at FPSs, so I can only imagine if he's ever had that kind of experience. And I'm actually curious for anyone else out there, if you've ever had that experience where someone came at you with a game, thinking like, they got this and it's their game, and then you kind of played and just because you're a gamer, maybe succeeded?
I did the exact same thing with a friend who had a PlayStation 4 back in uni when it just came out. And he was talking about how he's so good at COD, and he's amazing at COD, and he can kick anybody's ass at COD. And I had never played a PS4 before, and I had never played COD on a console. I think FPS other than Halo, actually.
Oh no.
And on the first game, when he was sniping like a little douche, hiding in the corner trying to snipe us, I realized what he was doing, sneaked around and just like knifed him to death.
Yep.
And he was like, "How did you do that? I thought you'd never played before." I was like, "I haven't."
It is. Those are those geek moments in gaming where you're just like, let me wear that geek badge with pride there a little bit. Yep. Excuse me.
Well earned. Well earned.
That's awesome. Yeah. Anyhow, as we totally like tangentialize it just a little bit off on that one, which is totally fine because that's what we do. What else have you been doing in this week since you've been out and celebrating with Kitten Features and things like that, and taking a moment to kind of enjoy and not have to worry about the show and other stuff?
I have also been on 3 work nights out so far. I'm actually missing the main department meal, Christmas meal thing. Because originally we planned to go visit Kitten's parents at Christmas time, just before Christmas, in Paris, but that's since been cancelled. So that means that the reason that I originally said no to the department meal also got cancelled. So now I'm not doing either. So yeah, there's that. Meh, whatever. Oh, geez, what else? I think that's pretty much most of my geek cred. Let me check my calendar.
Well, so it's funny, right? Well, dysfunctional, right? We're trying to talk non-geek stuff, and it's like I think we bled right
so
into.
that's what I meant to say, non-geek cred. But yeah, I think that's everything. How about yourself, sir? What have you been up to?
I have no idea. I have been struggling this whole time to come up with what have I done that's not been geeky this week.
That's a good thing.
And I'm seriously sitting here like, I went to the store because I need to get some stuff so I can change the oil in my truck so I can go get it registered and get emissions done. Yeah, that's what I've done.
I did a lot
like,
of washing this week. I did lots of laundry.
Yeah, it's like
Very
household
exciting.
things, right? I've been cleaning the house some, and like, really, it hasn't been a non-geeky week, which is never a bad thing for me. I like being geeky, but I didn't do anything that was really too off or not, and so I guess it's appropriate to,
I'm
Yeah.
a geek. Are you a geek?
Geek cred, level up.
and just kind of jump right into the stuff with geek cred.
Hey, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
So geek cred wise, and I guess I will start things off with this one. A couple things. First, I'm going to do, much like we're talking about with the gaming afterwards, we're probably going to do some Killing Floor 2, so if you don't have it, start downloading it. Let's all get together and do some VTW Killing Zombies. I played
It's
it.
free.
It's free to play right now. You can see if you like it. I played it real quick earlier, and it didn't scare me so much as it was hectic. God, there were so many zombies, and we were playing on normal difficulty, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my god. And so it was crazy.
And they just released a new patch with a new class as well, so there's a bunch of newbies trying out this new gunslinger class. Which, by the way, is a nice, fun, unique class. How often do you see gunslingers in like
No, that's
any
cool.
FPSs, never mind RPGs?
Nice. Real quick in the IRC, that's funny, copy. Because they were talking basically on what I had said about the gun skills, and Paz had mentioned that he surprised people with his in real life gun skills. And I sympathize because I've done that too. In real life, I'm actually a pretty good shooter. I do very well with guns. But he commented that he's surprised with that, and Copy came back saying, "Hey, Paz, I didn't know you could hack real life too." And so that's entertaining
That's
because
pretty good.
how we get called hackers. Anyhow, sorry, I digress. Continue, sir.
No. I was going more into. I suppose it's geek cred.
Well,
But yes, the gaming night. Do that. Do
Okay.
the gaming night. Come join
okay,
us at gaming
so
night.
that piece there. So the other thing I'm going to throw out there then for everyone, please email into the show at showx@vtw Productions. We're down to just a couple weeks before the Consumer Electronics Show 2016. I had finally bit the bullet and spent my money to get tickets and hotel so that I can go cover CES again. I'm going to do it not as blitzworthy as I did this year, but a little similar. I'm going to fly out there because I'll be coming back from visiting my brother's family after Christmas, and almost directly I'm going to come back for maybe a day and then go to Las Vegas. And so I'm going to get there Wednesday early and then try to be there all day Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then fly back Friday night. The goal there is hopefully to, one, keep myself out of trouble by not being in Vegas on the weekend by myself, because and two, it gives me 3 days of coverage, which I think should be enough for CES, without having to go all the way into the Saturday day of it where everything will be winding down anyways. But that is 3 days that I can spend finding out as much information as any of you want about the new gadgets and gear that will be coming out in the upcoming years. So please, give me a heads up, let me know, email in the show, and let me know what you would like me to go check out. I know I'll be checking out the Oculus. I'm really hopeful. Everyone's discussing that we're pretty much expecting the release version or something like that to be out at CES, because it's going to be supposedly shipped in the first quarter of next year, or be able to buy the new Oculus, the retail version. I got to try Crescent Bay, the last prototype, and it was amazing. They're also discussing that they may have the Half Moon controllers, the touch or whatever, the actual controllers with the Oculus, which I'm really hopeful to get hands and eyes on with their gear. And just a lot of discussion that VR might be really big again this year with more stuff. So I'll definitely check that one out. But other things, like for me personally and for the car guys out there, the Ford's going to have their new GT there as one of the car displays, which really excites me because being a car guy, Ford's only releasing, they're going to maybe make 1,000 of these cars. and they're each going to go for anywhere from $350,000 to $400,000. I think they said it was average like 250,000 pounds for the car.
Jeez.
And so it's going to be a very limited, like, holy cow car. I'm really wanting to see it in person, and if I can, I will get, like, intimate with it physically, but I doubt they'll let people touch it.
Whoa.
I jokingly say that because at one of the car shows here years back, my buddy Shady and I went, and they had an S7 with this really rare car out there, Saline S7, that was just available right there with no ropes around it or anything. It's like, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars, and there's only a handful of these in the world kind of deal. And so we have a shot of Shady just short of, like, humping its exhaust pipe. Where it was like, the fact that we could touch the car was so bizarre.
It's
that
the
we
only
took advantage
logical
of it.
thing to do.
So jokingly, because the new Ford GT has like 2 massive exhaust pipes in the rear and then 2 exhaust pipes for the radiators in the side, I was kind of like, see, look at that thing. That is totally ready for some action. Anyhow, digress and totally off topic. It's terrible. But no, I really would like to have some input as to what you guys would like me to see. If there's any hints or anything, there's articles out there right now about some of the tech that may be visible there. Is there a new monitor, new gaming hardware, televisions, things like that, audio, you name it. CES has all the hardware you could ever hope to see. Smartphones, the televisions, things like that. So please, let me know. I'd love your input, because I'll see whatever I can see. But if there's something you want me to see, I will make sure to take the time and go talk to that company or go see those gadgets. So throwing that out there. All right. Other than that, things I've been doing. If you can listen quietly behind the background music in the back, you may hear that a little whine and buzz that's kind of going on behind me. It might mostly, yeah, that kind of thing, which people always talk about, like, do you have R2-D2, like, cooking you dinner next to you or something like that? What that is I finally got off my butt and decided to finish reassembling and getting working again my 3D printer. I go through all these phases where I try something new and do whatever, and I mess it up, and I get tired and lazy, and I don't touch it again for like a month or 2 or 3 or 5, and then come back and put it back together and start doing it again. So this one was just like the print head got clogged because I was trying to use the exotic bronze material I had bought, and still haven't successfully printed anything with that. But now I got it up and going. I did print first thing I did, and I'd been waiting to do this for quite some time. But the print I got for anyone on the video wall wants to see is that it looks like just like a little wedge or something. But if you've ever played the Space RTS out there, I forget who originally made it, Homeworld. This is the mothership from Homeworld, and it was a model that I'd found way back that was just really slick, and I'm happy with it because I did it at a high detail, and it printed it in such a way where it printed it up from the thrusters up, and has like the actual hanger in it that's all hollow and empty, and it printed so well. I'm just super happy with it. So I'm back on a kick of trying to find all the things I can as a 3D print so that my printer's constantly running again. We'll see how long I go before I muck it up again. It's currently printing on... I'm currently doing the upgrade my 3D printer with 3D prints. So I'm printing some little bases right now that are going to fit it under it and give a little better airflow under it and raise it up some. And then I have to print a little tool rack, a new spool holder. Yeah, I got a whole list. And then a whole bunch of fun things I'm going to do. I actually realized one of my next projects I plan to do, I just downloaded from Thingiverse, a model for... they have a bunch of things that you can, anything you imagine, but holiday themed things. And since it's the Christmas season, I looked up and I found both a large sum of cookie cutters that I want to print out that are all like geek related. Things like a little Batman shaped cookie cutter.
That's a cool idea.
I one of them is a Darth Vader cookie cutter.
That's awesome.
All these different ones, little patterns and stuff like that. So I want to get a bunch of those because I may decide to print out or to make a bunch of like sugar cookies or something, and just like.
By the way, do
Yes.
you have your tickets booked for Star Wars next week?
So, I don't, right? So, weird thing happened, right? Fandango, when Star Wars got announced and they were doing the sales, right, we talked about, they crashed the internet, right? Fandango died because so many people were trying to buy tickets right away. And there's all these different things for the, Thursday night, essentially when it's actually going to be released, even though it's Friday release, but midnight, which really means like 8 o'clock in most places on Thursday. But I had gone on there and tried to buy tickets first day, and I was trying to coordinate with some friends to get into them. Let's all go see it together. We're a bunch of geeks. We'll love this. Let's go. And I just missed it. I missed the sale. I couldn't get online. It just failed, right? I was like, what the hell do I do? And so, unfortunately, I didn't have tickets, and I was sitting there talking, and most of my friends did get tickets. Sir Spencer got tickets for his family to go see it because his girls love Star Wars, so he's gonna have a great time. All my different groups ended up getting their own tickets separately, and so none of us had gotten like the big let's all get together. And so I was talking to my cousin Hostel, and we were kind of like, well, we are like the last 2 people on Earth that don't have tickets and plans ready for Star Wars. When are we going to get to see this thing? It's like the whole first opening weekend's booked. And I was sitting there, part of me kind of felt like, I think it's part of my, like, responsibility as a show host for a geek and technology show host to see the new Star Wars opening weekend, especially when I have a show that I can gush about it if I need to on Sunday. Mind you, without spoilers, that kind of thing. And so I was sitting there, God, I need to do something. I need to at least get a book. Maybe I'll go, can I get a first day show, or like early showing on Saturday or something, or I don't know, right? And so I was still stressing out, and then one of my good friends, one of the guys who comes to Game Fest with us, Kazuyuri, put out a message on social media saying, like, hey guys, one of the people that was planning to come to our opening showing backed out. Anybody want to come opening night to Star Wars? I was like,
I suppose.
Me?
I guess.
So the problem is,
Force my arm.
well, the one that he had though is not a traditional showing of Star Wars. I don't know if people remembered what I talked about when I went and saw The Hobbit, the last episode of The Hobbit, how they had a special showing they were doing that wasn't just The Hobbit, it was a marathon of the previous ones leading up to The Hobbit.
Sure.
And how
awesome,
I ended up spending about 10 or 12 hours in a theater doing that.
Yeah.
Well, the tickets that Kazuyuri and his group have are essentially that same thing, but with Star Wars. And now,
Perfect.
A marathon of all 6 of the Star Wars movies leading up to the release of the new one, 7.
Sounds ideal.
So, I will be, and I got to talk to work and make sure I could take the time off. I will be in a theater watching Star Wars starting Thursday morning at 1 in the morning. And I did the math, and just by the times alone of how long each movie runs, as well as adding, say, 30 minutes between movie for them to switch it out, there'll probably be a couple longer breaks in there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But just if there were 30-minute breaks between each movie and watching all the movies up through the new one is 19 hours. So I'm expecting to spend over in excess of 20 hours in the theater this coming Thursday watching Star Wars.
Wow.
Needless to say, I am very excited because the geek, like, what do you even say? The anticipation, like almost like gasm of that is a little silly. Like I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for what this is gonna be. As well as I'm planning, like, what outfit am I going to wear. I'm not going to dress up fully, but I'm thinking I'm going to wear my, my Vader hoodie that zips all the way up with, like, my Episode 1 release glow-in-the-dark Darth Maul shirt and such. Kind of like, I'm trying to figure out, but at the same time I'm thinking about wearing, like, my Ninja Turtle pajama bottoms. Because it's going to be a long time sitting in the theater.
Yeah, you want to be
How
comfy.
can I get some, like, slippers or something? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm not even kidding. You should bring like at least a big ass blanket, if not a duvet.
So I was really tempted to see if I couldn't jump on like ThinkGeek or something and get a robe or something quick, and I was that close. They had the Star Wars Slanket, which is the like robe style blanket that looks like a Jedi robe,
That's cool.
but it's actually like a blanket with arms and kind of a hood. I was really tempted, like I could just get that, sit down in the theater seat and be like, don't mind me. Because figuring it starts at 1 in the morning, my expectation is I am probably going to sleep through the prequels. Or nod on and off so I can have energy for the only ones that matter.
Fair enough.
We'll see. I don't know. I may be that like epically just charged. I'll be like, because I don't know. You saw that project that Shia LaBeouf did, right? Where he watched all of his movies in a theater for it 48 hours or something like that?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. It's kind of, I was like, I saw pictures of his face throughout, and it's like, yeah, that takes a toll on you. So I need to do something to be prepped. Sneak in my own things of energy drinks and stuff like that. But we'll see. So yes, I do have
do
tickets.
It, Wayne, just do it. Just do it.
We'll see how it goes. Like I said, yeah. I have tickets, and I have probably some of the most epic tickets you could have for watching the new Star Wars. God darn it. J.J. Abrams, it better rock. It better be amazing, because I'm going to be in a theater a long damn time on Thursday. But I'm excited.
Yeah, that sounds awesome to me, but I generally don't think I have the endurance to do that kind of thing. I personally don't. I think I wouldn't enjoy it, to be honest.
This is the, I am old. It's not like I'm a spring chicken here where that's going to be nothing. It's probably going to wreck me. And even to the point where I was tempted to say, like, take Friday off still, too, because I was going to just swap my normal day off Friday and just take it off Thursday. But if I'm in that theater for almost 20-something hours, when I get home, I'm going to want to crash and not wake up in 5 hours.
Yep.
And so I'm kind of deciding, like, maybe I'll just still come in Friday, but late? I don't know. It's like, that part I still haven't figured out. But thankfully I have flexibility and have enough time off and things, and a great office I work for to actually get to go do that. So I am curious, though, also, for people's Geek Cred stuff you're, like, doing for that, as well as to prep for next week's show, which we will probably have some Star Wars theme about that. Please email in us what your plans are to watch the new Star Wars, if that's something you're interested in. And if you're here, you're probably interested in that, because I don't know many people that are anti-Star Wars that are fans of our show. Maybe a handful out there.
If you are, email us in. That'd be very interesting to hear about.
I have never seen Star Wars. I never will. It's funny. Partly on that whole geek level of an expectation for what it is to be a geek like we are. A friend of mine from work actually called me yesterday morning early on and said, Hey, Wayne, by the way, do you have a copy of the original Star Wars? And I was like, well, yeah, but on VHS, because I'm still waiting for a release of the theatrical versions on Blu-ray. Yeah. And he was like, man, because his wife had never seen it, essentially, like the original.
What?
And so he wanted to do the proper, or maybe not had never seen it. It had been so long that he wants to do like his own marathon throughout the week, getting ready for it, that kind of deal.
Because I really can't mock, considering my wife has seen them, but doesn't like space things, as she puts it.
No.
Yeah. So that makes that a little bit difficult. Yeah.
That hurts. That burns a little place in the geek's soul.
Yeah.
Well, it's that same thing, you see the memes out there, and there's a couple out there that are kind of, as a geek, you run into it where it's, the person who says, I've never seen Star Wars, you get that look of like, how do you exist? To the person who says, like, I've never seen Firefly, which is a little more easy to understand, but still like, what? It's just that look you get when there's certain shows or movies or whatever you've seen that are so amazing, that's just like, how can somebody have not experienced this? This is like a pinnacle thing for geek culture.
Or more, what's the point in living without it?
Oh, gosh. Hey, yes, and I knew that about Kuro. He puts in the IRC that he has them on Laserdisc. And that was like originally one of the most pure digital forms you could find, which is awesome. Although I've heard there's overseas versions that were the theatrical originals that are available on DVD. But that's okay. Disney somewhat promised that they'll re-release them on Blu-ray. With un-Lucasized.
They make so much money. I mean, it's just like, why would you not do that?
Well, so actually, that's one of the concerns I have. Oh my God, concern. For the viewing going in this Thursday, I don't know which versions they're going to play of the prequels.
Oh, good point, actually. I never thought of that.
Or, I mean, of the originals. Because I'm actually concerned.
Are you enough of a Star Wars
yes.
geek to notice the differences?
Oh, instantly. God, yes. Because so if you're watching the original Star Wars, A New Hope, and you're watching when they first, well, I mean, it's even before that, but if you watch when they first go in Tatooine to the bar at Mos Eisley, or just into Mos Eisley, you'll know instantly if it's the extended enhanced BS version or if it's the original. If when they go into Mos Eisley and it's basically a deserted desert area with a handful of people and just the stormtroopers they first interact with, and that's about it, then you're in the original. If there's a bunch of digitized creatures and other aliens and suddenly it looks like this big bustling spaceport, you are in the the bastardized, we've ruined it version. And so
what makes it ruined?
Well, the biggest one everyone talks about is the hand shot first.
Yeah,
the whole Greedo, I'm sitting across the table from you and can't shoot you. It just ruins it. There's so many little things. The problem is there's a ton of little details that are so unnecessary. it hurts it. To the adding of the cut scene where Han Solo is talking to Jabba the Hutt, and they have the horrible. Originally, it was going to be acted by a big kind of overweight guy that they then skinned over this terrible CG version of Jabba the Hutt that isn't even big enough based on Return of the Jedi's Jabba, where it's this big slug. And this one is this like slimmed down version digitally that they had to fit over the human actor and have move at the same pace and around that scene to make it work. Which is like, how about you just not? Instead of making this so bad and half-assed.
Okay, that sounds pretty bad. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's lots of little things that throughout the whole, you're just like, what? That's totally unnecessary, right? So it's things like that. That's why. But, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So, but I'm really concerned with which one they're going to play. So we'll see. All right, I'm going to stop geeking out on Star Wars for a moment. Other than, Ken, do you have plans to go see it?
Yes, but I haven't booked anything because I'm currently... So December's always my poor month and will be forevermore because one Christmas, right, who isn't already going to be with that? Kitten's birthday and our anniversary is the start of January. So this is our poor month. So
Gotcha.
I want to go see Star Wars, but right now being able to like give gifts to my parents and to my friends and family and be able to eat dinner on Christmas Day, yada yada yada, it comes a little bit more important than Star Wars. I'm very sad to say. But I
It's
do plan to see
priorities,
it probably after Christmas. It'll still be in the cinema then, so I'll probably see it then.
Okay. Well, with that, like I said, I will do my best to not spoil anything. At most, I'm hoping to be able to give it either a general, yeah, go check it out, you should like it, or a, I'm kind of surprised it
Don't bother.
didn't meet up, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. But, I hope it's good. All right, so good to know. All right, I will try to blaze through the rest of my geek cred here. So I did play a couple games. I played a little bit of Killing Floor 2 just to see what it is and realized I actually needed to like take a moment and collect myself, so I went back to playing Call of Duty. As fast-paced as that is, at least I'm comfortable with it. And they're having double XP weekend this weekend, so we leveled up high and I'm back close to my prestige again. Gosh, I need to play the game more. Paz is already like prestige, 8 times? He's on his 8th one, which means going level 0 or 1 right up to level 55. And then deciding to throw away all the progress you've done to start over again so that you can level it up again, unlock things again, but it gives you like a few extra bonuses of permanent unlocks and things like that. And he's done it because he's played the game so much. I need to actually check his profile, how many hours he's put into it, that he's already on his 8th prestige, which is insane. Other than that, there came out with a new update to Star Citizen. Still in its alpha, still way early in development. But Chris Roberts' Star Citizen, they did a patch which is their first tease at what the persistent universe will be like. And so essentially what they did is they added to it a space station that you can start off on. And when you wake up, you kind of come out in a little tiny cube pod type thing, a little, not even house or apartment, but just a little room on a space station. And you can walk around and everyone else there are actual people basically running around doing the same thing. It's very rough. The engine has not been optimized, so even on my 970, it's kind of a little choppy, but it is pretty. Yeah, but it's very pretty, and you can run around. What they did on this one is they finally added the ability to go in space outside of your ship, so you can actually run outside an airlock and just jump into space, and you basically have your little EV suit where you can.
That's cool.
It has little jets on it that lets you kind of scoot around space. Not very fast, mind you. It's not. You're not in a ship, but just kind of. You get the sense of I am floating around in a space suit in space. And that was actually really cool. And they've done this in an area where other people are doing that as well as also jumping in their ships and taking off. And I've yet to watch a ship get ordered in. I kind of need to see how that happens. But you can go into this main terminal and you can pick any of the ships you've pre-ordered, as well as a couple they have just available for people to check out. Click on a thing and it'll pick one of these open bays essentially on the space station and say your ship will be at this location, go to it. At which point you run outside and it's all real world, you're all in the one instance of it. And you can actually go out into one of the windows and see your ship like there on the pad.
That's cool.
And then you can run out through an airlock, you go through animation where you hit an airlock, it does this whole spray thing, opens up, you go outside, and then you kind of have a magnetic boot thing where you're running on the surface, and you can get out and jump in your ship and go fly off. As well as they've added a couple missions, I guess, which I haven't checked out yet. And I think some other interactions in the universe part. So it's kind of the first tease on what a planet, a space station, and kind of some basic interaction is going to look like. And they're saying that now that they're officially on 2.0 for the release, that they're working up towards giving people that first level of like person-to-person fighting, actually shooting at each other, the FPS part of it. So that could be interesting, but we'll see. I've only touched it twice. But anyone who's in Star Citizen who's already been a backer, and I always still advocate, don't go back it. They're almost up to $100 million, and it's still not being made yet, so don't. Excuse me. So just wait till it to come out. But for people that have bought into it, you can go play with that now. I already talked about my 3D printer. I just finished watching a series of an anime. I thought it was actually longer than it was when I watched it, but it was basically, I think if I get it right, it's called The Devil is a Part-Timer. It's kind of a silly, fun anime where there's the multiple faces of the devil, Satan, Lucifer, all is kind of like the same but different masters of demons. And in it, essentially the devil goes through a gate from this Ain Isla area or whatever they start at, and goes to Earth in Japan, and showing up there basically loses most of his powers and becomes almost like a regular person. And it's a little fun comedy kind of anime about that that's animated really well, has some fun characters, has a lot of the traditional trappings that you talk about, Ken, about them being younger kids throughout the whole anime and such. But it's funny because he essentially, to maintain a lifestyle, if for whatever reason he gets endeared with Earth and doesn't want to just destroy it or anything and doesn't have his power to start with, so he starts working part-time at a fast food joint that's basically McDonald's. They do, their own words for it, where it's, mix something, and instead of KFC as a rival, they have like SFC or something like that, chicken place and things like that. But just for people out there who haven't seen it, it's a fun little anime, and I'll leave it at that. Other than that, I went and started watching. I had the opportunity to start watching Jessica Jones again, the Netflix Marvel thing. I still haven't finished the whole series.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm up to like halfway through it, a little more, and I've enjoyed what I've watched. But a friend of mine who had just started watching, I got a chance to go sit down and watch it with them, and it's interesting once you've learned some of the like plot twists and how it evolves to go back and see what led up to it again, because you're now aware of where it's going to go, and you get to see how characters interact. And it's funny because one of the things I always talk about Marvel as a whole entity that makes things, and why I hope new Star Wars will be good, they do a really good job earning the things they bring up later in a series, right? That they'll hint at it early on in the movies. They did with Avengers, stuff like that, a little bit, and then it goes up, and you'll see what they were leading up to from the beginning, and it works. Avengers 2 was Thor's hammer on the table at the very beginning of the movie. They're all trying to pick it up. Nobody can. They're joking about, oh, it's a trick, da-da-da. And then, Captain America nudges it just a little bit because he's so pure of heart. And Thor actually stops and goes like, oh, crap. And then later it plays out to Vision picking it up like nothing and saying, let's go. And everyone going like, well, okay, we trust him. He's pure. Let's go. And so it's things like that Marvel does. Well, in Jessica Jones, they still do a lot of that. It's a little more subtle because it's a series, a long time to play out. But it's neat to see how that progression happens when you now know who's going to be what as you go forward, right? And it's also, for me, always entertaining in a way. It's just like watching anything you love. For me, Firefly, something like that. When you know a scene's about to come up that's really a big scene, something that's normally surprising, to watch it with someone who's never seen it. And I'm so bad about this, where I will turn and look at the person to see their expression, right? Just kind of like, did they catch it the way I caught it? Is it as meaningful to them as it was me?
Are they paying attention?
Yeah, that kind of thing. And it was really jazzed, actually, to be able to go through that with someone again. Experience, because I've been watching it by myself while editing photos and doing other stuff. So, because my cousin is on a different schedule, so we haven't really sat down and watched stuff a whole lot. But I saw that and was like, okay, that's a lot of fun. And if you like Jessica Jones, it's interesting to go through it again, knowing what's going to happen. And it was still entertaining that way. The other thing that I saw, which was, it's another Netflix kind of, I guess, made for Netflix or whatever kind of movie that came out. But this is one from a pretty big team, which is from Billy Madison Productions. So it's Adam Sandler's group for making movies. He made a Western called The Ridiculous Six that has just come out on Netflix, and hadn't heard anything about it coming up other than I saw it on the feed and was like, what is this? It's essentially a comedy Western that he put out that's got a whole cast of, the people he normally works with, as well as others, people like Rob Schneider and one of my cousin and I, because we watched this together, our favorite actor is Terry Crews, the big black guy that's just like yoked out. And
I love Terry Crews. Yeah, he's the man.
Hilarious, right? Yeah. They have him in it and a bunch of... It's entertaining. Good movie. I won't say it was nearly as funny as Seth MacFarlane's, 10,000 Ways to Die in the West or whatever that one was, or whatever. But it's still a really good, solid kind of Western comedy. So if you have a Netflix, you might want to go check that out, especially if you like Adam Sandler. All right, that's all the main things I have. The last one I have, and I know I'm running way too much time up today, is
It's all right.
I realize I have an addiction that I need to get solved.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Enemy?
No, actually, that one's fine. This one cost me money, and it's a bad way. I have a bad addiction to trolling through or looking and following all of the different FundMe type of things that are out there. Because
You are a crowdfunder, are you?
I am unfortunately a crowdfunder in a way that I didn't think I would truly be. And the reason I say this is because I've spent too much money on these things over the years or recently. I don't feel bad about kickstarting my brother's sub because it's my brother's company and I've seen him and played with him in person. It's such a good price. I was like, yep, I need to do this. And then I went so far as there was another one that came out that was and you'll appreciate this, Ken. It's a remote timer for your camera. So for your
That's
SLR.
cool.
But it's one that's Bluetooth enabled from your phone. And
That's
it actually
cool.
plugs into the USB slot or connection. It goes from whatever. It doesn't plug into the normal timer slot. It plugs into the USB port on your camera. And it allows it to
Very
actually
nice.
access the menu so you can change settings remotely. You can hit the shutter remotely. You can actually do things like time lapses and all these other things that are really intelligent and schedule it. And when you upload it, it goes to the device and then you no longer need to be connected by your phone to do it. But it's perfect because it also will give you a live view through your camera. So you can actually get into your own photo.
That's
The old fast remote shutter, instead of saying the 10-second delay, run over, hope I'm posed. You can actually pose everyone, be standing in front of it, looking at your camera like, all right, guys, ready? Bam, 3, 2, 1, click from where you're at.
That's awesome.
Like all these little things, and it was on Kickstarter for basically like $80 or something. For this really can do everything professional timer, because they were showing some great things for outdoor shots, like set and forget. And the thing has a built-in like 24-hour battery, and so you can have it play like time lapse for at least 24 hours without it needing to be charged or anything. So you can do like these long nighttime time lapses or exposure. Just something like that. So the last one I just did, and I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm going to put it into the IRC, and you can click on the link and see what it's. Yeah, so Sony does some great things, Crow, for what they do with their cameras. This is for all of us noobs that run like Canon and Nikon and stuff like that, where they don't give us everything built right in. So this is a link for Indiegogo that I checked out because I don't know, I like pretty graphical things a lot,
and you don't like your money.
and I don't like my money. And so
Give it
this
away
is
to as many people
this
as
is a
possible.
link to hopefully what will come out is I basically funded a shoe.
Those will be made a long time ago, Wayne. They don't need funded.
So this shoe's cool though. It's a shoe that they added tech to a shoe. And it's tech that's not just like your Nike little things for trainers and stuff where you can actually see how far you run or anything like that. No. Their concept, if you check out the Indiegogo that they have, the link that I provided there is it's taking the material of e-ink that they've used on a lot of like e-readers and stuff like that, but flexible e-ink, and putting it on the side of your shoes. And allowing you to wirelessly connect to your shoes and send an image to the size of your shoes. So that you can essentially change the design of your shoes whenever you want.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And if you watch the video on it, I'm hoping they meet the level to get to the full color display. Because it's not only just sending like a static image, and the beauty of e-ink is it's not like a lit up display, so you're not going to be walking around with these glowing shoes. It looks like paper. So it actually maintains like it's just a physical thing there and just happens to be the design change, right? With this one though, it actually will let you also animate it. And so you could have like an animated display going on the sides of your shoes. And their goal is to get up enough funds to do it with color, as well as to do it where they want to put a charging mechanism into the shoe so as you walk, it charges itself.
That's pretty cool.
And at the highest end, I want to say they want to
How
get it.
efficient it'll be, that's a different matter. But
Well,
it
they
sounds
said
cool.
they're hoping to have enough battery in it that it'll last, 30 days if you're doing stuff with it like that without having to do anything special. The other cool thing about that is it's e-ink, so once you put an image on the screen, it no longer takes power to maintain it because it's already the image is on it. So once it's there, it doesn't take power to keep going. But for me, for things like dancing, the hip hop dance stuff like that, for me going around anime conventions or any conventions and having the ability to have that shoe match whatever it is I'm doing that day, in a way, just as a stupid little geek side of me that's like, this would be
that's
the
awesome. That is
coolest
cool.
crap ever. But damn it if these things aren't expensive. I mean, it is ink and flexible, so the material itself is expensive. But
Very
like the
much,
cheapest,
Wayne.
so the low tops, they have 3 sizes: low, mid, and high tops. The low tops on their Kickstarter, essentially, or their early crowdsource, is $150.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, here's the thing. They realize that shoes wear out, and so they've done a few things to try to make the shoes better. They're using a Kevlar blend sole so that they should actually have a really sturdy sole that won't just, fall apart on you. They're making them waterproof and machine washable so that you can actually keep these things fresh and good over years type thing is the idea. So they should really last and be a good long shoe. The mid tops are basically $100 more at $250 and the high tops at $350. And it's because of how much more material there is for you to put your design on. And yes, I know it's a completely frivolous, silly thing, and there's a handful of people that'll want it. But I already see, if I go and have these things and go to my next whatever convention, I'm going to have, whatever I'm, either dressed as or, if it's anime, they have anime on it. If I can, actually put it together where I can, have a rotating images, constantly. So if someone sees it and they see it moving, they have a goal to even do it, if they can get high enough, which I don't know if they'll make in time because there's, 10 days left. A thing that'll know the angle of the shoe so that it can animate the image as it's moving. And so it actually can keep it centered horizontally no matter your angle of the shoe. Or that they also want to do wireless Bluetooth speakers built in and have it all be able to react with sound. They want to go to those extra steps. I don't know. It's silly. It's frivolous. I love it.
As long as
I
you
want it.
recognize those facts, that's fine.
Oh yeah. And I know it's niche as hell, but that's something I did. And like I said, I realize I have a problem. I'm trying so desperately to not look at any other crowdsourced things again the rest of the year. Or next year
There's
even.
quite a few podcasts based on the current cool stuff.
No,
in,
there's ones you can
crowdsourcing.
follow so many things that are out there, depending on what you're into. So, in a way, to help me not feel like such a scrub for doing this, I'd love if people would take time and email in the show and let me know some of the things you've crowdsourced. Make me maybe feel better about myself. Because,
I've only crowdsourced Lemon Demon, the band Lemon Demon, which is one guy who I used to really enjoy when I was in high school.
Gotcha.
He did. Do you remember? What does the song go? I know how the song goes. I can't remember the name of it. Wait, give me a second.
Yeah, what is it?
Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, those guys, right?
Yeah,
Love
of course.
Those guys. I love that guy.
Everybody
And,
knows that guy.
I gave him $1 a month, so that I got access to all of his MP3s.
Nice. Well, I mean, I supported the Double Clicks, right? I did the crowdsource thing for the Double Clicks album, and really enjoyed getting that. And I stalk them now at every convention they come to out in this way. But yeah, I'd be actually curious to find some of the other ones that other people have done because it's fun. Other than thank you, Hando, for putting it out there saying I fund VTW and Alpha Geek Radio. That's it at the moment. And yes, I do hit you up, Copy, all the time for that because you spend too much money on people when you need to hold it to yourself. I am in a little different situation where I'm just being ridiculous with my money, not because I don't have it or anything. It's just, yeah.
You're just a fanny.
It feels that way at times. So, there's that. All right.
All right, let's have a break because I need to clean up some spilled drink here that my dog isn't even accepting off the floor. So, which is a bad sign.
Yes, as I am just now trying to run it here and throw in the things for the break so that we can do that. All right, I am all set. We are ready for the break. We'll be back after this OC remix song of one of our favorite games out there, Legend of Zelda. And we'll be back right after this. You're listening to Show X, and it is time for a break. Yep, as I make sure everything's in the right position so I can click the right buttons. There we go. All right, we'll be right back.
Send in your emails to showx@vtwproductions.com. You're listening to ShowX on VTWProductions.com.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the show. And yes, it is that time of year. It is almost the holiday season, and all the Steam sales are about to happen. So, as Kuro is kind of bringing up, everybody go update your wish lists in your Steam profiles.
Oh, good point. Yep,
because
yep.
we like to do our little giving tree on the forums, and I'm sure that will start up again, where we do the whole someone buys someone a gift, posts it that they did, and then it goes down the list where, you know, basically you give to the person who did it ahead of you. And the idea is to try to do it only with less expensive games, so it's not like you go and buy a new $60 game for the next person, but normally something that's on their wish list that happens to be on sale. So check that out if you would. Other thing I need to do, coming back real quick, is to wish, even though it's already passed, our friend Chibi, Copy's sister, a very happy Chibi Day and a very happy birthday. Hers was just the other day, which is nice. So, before we get into yours, do you want to go through emails, or should we jump right into your geek cred, sir?
Let's go through emails first. How many do we have?
Let me see. I know I had at least a couple of people say they were emailing into the show, and it looks like we've got 3. Awesome.
Hey.
So I will jump right into the first one, coming to us from Happy Do 2, saying, due to real life getting the best of me, a future employer might have me working the weekends. I died last night, or at least a man by the name of Conrad Stokes died last night in a Vampire the Masquerade LARP last night. That's a lot of last nights. Alright, I'm going to take off my... now I'll keep my shredder on. I think I can keep reading this. I'm wearing my Loot Crate sunglasses that I got this last time. See, there was an NPC named Mouse that told me that someone that was beneficial to my clan might die, and I had 30 minutes to talk to him and to think of a way to save him. We relocate to the back patio for a, quote, Fight Club-style fight to go down. I try to cast up a flame wall in between the 2 people involved, failed the test, and 2 rerolls to try to save the guy. The private investigator that showed up to the LARP last night handed me a gun after he noticed I failed in Plan A. I looked at the gun, looked at the PI with a questionable look, slightly panicked, shrugged my shoulders, and pulled the trigger. I quickly get mobbed by 14 people trying to hold me down as I struggle. This guy attempted to stake me, but failed so many times it took him 12 times to stake me in the shoulder to send me into Tirpor. So this is all lingo from Vampire the Masquerade for those who don't know. Oh, how the LARPing goes in game. Yes. Here's the funny thing about it. Some Russian dude stuffed my limp body into his trunk and told someone to drive me somewhere far away and to run back in time for the closing meeting to end the game for the night. Why this was funny was that he was talking the entire night about hitting characters with a car. Before all of this went down, I had a clan meeting only to tell them, stay the F out of it. I'm going to either save him and die or we both die. So that was my weekend of cred. I'm basically sending this email from beyond the grave, sort of. Cupcheck, formerly known as Conrad Stokes. Awesome. All right, sir. Good geek cred. We haven't had a lot of LARP stuff ever since.
That was certainly geeky. Well done.
Yes, ever since Pusa basically got busy and hasn't been with us as much regularly. We don't get the normal updates of people out there LARPing, so that's very cool.
That's true.
Sir,
yes, thank you very much for that, sir.
We have one in here from Hando, if you want to pick that one up.
That we do! Hey X-Men! This week in Geek Cred involved watching The Kingsman per Ken's high recommendation, and I really had a good time with it. I knew you would. It's a fantastic film. It is
fun.
One of the best. It is so good. I can't recommend it higher. I have to say that watching nothing but Marvel movies and things that are child-friendly lately, I was somewhat surprised by the violence in Kingsman. Not that it was extremely violent, guess I just wasn't expecting it. It is pretty freaking violent. And you're right, it's not excessive, but there are moments you're like, wasn't expecting that. That's quite a lot. Okay. So yeah, you're totally right with that. Finished up Marvel's Jessica Jones and now have a proper crush on Kristen Ritter, the lead actress. Can you comment on that, sir?
Oh, I find her quite attractive. A little tiny thing, brunette hair that has the kind of odd, definitely troubled and broken look to her.
Fair enough.
But she,
I don't know how troubled is a sexy thing, though.
Don't worry about that. No, she plays the part well of a character who has really gone through some junk and is not necessarily the nicest of people. And when watching it again with a person, it is like, man, she is really a wench, right? And I was like, oh, you have no idea. She has her very selfish, like, I'm just doing stuff this way kind of moments. But yeah, I like the actress. She does a really good job with it.
Cool.
Noob moment of the week.
Nude moment of the week. Don't know if by Ken's criteria this will make me a skilled gamer. While playing SWTOR, I got to a portion of the story where I had no companion. Being a rogue-type Jedi, I always play with a tank companion. And there are 10 or so solo instances you can do at the end of the game that are part of your HQ. I went to the first and found it pretty challenging, but I was able to defeat the boss and finish it. I then tried to do the others, and my face got stomped in over and over, and finally found that the user summoned companion interface had completely been redesigned. My tank kept giving me funny looks while we did the other instances. It sounds like you earned the funny looks. Yeah, that's cool. I kind of miss SWTOR. I liked SWTOR. I just didn't put much time into it when I probably should have put a bit more.
They've done updates. You know, the main storyline's all free to play now. stuff like that, which is nice. And
That's
so I've heard a lot of people go back and are enjoying it. Challenge being like any MMO, it's something you can crush through pretty quick. I say that I've been slightly touching Guild Wars 2 and have enjoyed it because I think they have really good fight mechanics because you can actually run it like an action RPG instead of a traditional MMO, which is to me a lot more engaging than clicking a target, hitting your action, this, that. This one you can just kind of start swinging and killing, which is a lot more fun to me. So, interesting. But yeah, I've heard very good things about SWTOR.
And he finishes off with, "Hey, I got the first boss down. No one can take that from me. Have a great Star Wars week," which is quite appropriate.
Oh, yes,
Your
it is.
pal, Hando.
So appropriate, so Star Warsy this week. So
yes,
trying
it is.
not to hit all the spoilers and other trailers. I'm just done. Cut off. I just need to see the movie now. All right.
So we have one more email, sir.
Yes, this one coming from the Copster. Greetings, Dr. Lord Reverend Professor and Bachelor of Science with the highest of honors, Kenneth Neal Reed II and Mr. Wayne. Friday was Chibi Day. We mailed her all of her Nintendo gifts, Yoshi's Woolly World, all of the Yarn Yoshi amiibos, a Gani amiibo, Ganondorf, and Triforce Heroes. Bitey also got some Jingle Bells and a reindeer hat. He didn't appreciate that very much, but tolerated it long enough for Chibi to take some humiliating pictures. Bitey being her large cat. Hey look! I got some emails from Best Buy today. My pre-orders have been confirmed. Now I get to play the waiting game for 3 months until I get to play Twilight Princess HD and the Mega Man Legacy Collection. That's pretty tight. Those are actually really, really good games. I'm in the same boat as Ken, being poor in December. Working in a college means, yay, 2 weeks of winter break. But also, ugh, those 2 weeks are their own pay period. So my next check will only have my 2 days holiday pay. So no Star Wars for copy. That is very sad to hear. Very sad to hear. Hey, what are you guys talking about with my screen? What's in that?
What are you talking about?
Jeez. Aww. Damn it, Ken.
What's up?
Damn it.
What is
What's
it?
going on?
What does it say on your screen?
The problem of me having, like, my Steam up on the screen invisible in this camera. I look over my shoulder as I read that and I see Wolfenstein The New Order as a gift I just received from, oh, I don't know. Actually, no, I will read the actual comment in there because it's posted XX Anime Fan XX, even though it's not spelled right. Kawaii, Kawaii, Desu Desu, XOXOXOXO, your waifu. And so, a gift from Ken. Or I guess that one might be officially Kenifer of Castle Wolfenstein. So, thank you very much, you dork. I like how that's happening over my shoulder and other people are saying it and I'm just like, I'm just doing the show. What are you talking about?
It was quite funny to just hit send and watch your screen and see it pop up. I quite enjoyed that. Yeah, I just figured it was on sale a couple weeks ago and I had it in my inventory for Christmas, right? And I thought, why not just send it now and make people happy earlier? I mean, I'll just who's going to complain about getting gifts early? So
one of the best things Steam started doing is letting you buy a gift to put in your library to eventually gift, so that you don't have to gift it right away. So you can buy it on sale, and like if someone's birthday is coming up or something like that, you can wait a week and then give it to them, type thing, right? That's actually one of the smarter things they've done recently with it. That's hilarious. So yeah, dork.
So
as we talk about
I heard good
interactions.
things about Wolfenstein from Hando, so that's
No, so did I.
my-
I played the one previous to that. I had always meant to get New Order, and just, like I said, list of games. Have not, but that will definitely be checked out. All right, continuing
Nice.
the email, it says, I haven't really done anything geeky unless you've seen me on Steam playing my non-Steam games. The Wandering Druid, and thank you for putting kanji in there to put out, and the translation of Phantasy Star Online Blue Burst. Because it's funny as I'll see that come up, and I'm like, I got no clue. She has in her Steam list just kanji.
No idea.
It's like, yeah, that. I think that's everything. Well, probably not, but I'm going to stop now anyway. See you next Sunday. That much love, the original copy. Thank you very much for jumping in and giving us everybody's geek cred this week. We really, really, really do appreciate it. It is awesome to
Definitely.
hear
Thank
from
you
you
very
guys. It really helps. So that's great. Good job, everyone. So with that, Ken, would you like to give us any of your geek cred today?
Yes. I suppose I could take us to the end of the show. I'll try not to, but we'll see how it goes. All right. What have I done this week? I've played a whole bunch of games. I've still not gotten back to Metal Gear Solid. It's still installed on my very limited SSD. I've got like 110 gig or so in it. I can actually use outside of my operating system. That's like a very small number of games.
See, you missed it last week because I talked about the things I had gotten back from other sales and things I spent money on from the Black Friday sales, and one of them was a new SSD. Because I put, for basically, I had gift cards also, so it was actually only $100 out of my pocket. But I got a, just a nothing main one, but it's a 960 gig SSD.
I'm very jealous.
So they're on Tiger for $250. I had gift cards, so it was less. But you say that because I spent like this whole week just throwing things in all like other games I'd had for my operating system drive, my 400 gig, and all this stuff, and put it all the ones I want to run fast on this. So I was able to kind of like consolidate some things and move things off of other drives, and it feels so good to clear that up and have like the games I care about now all on the SSD.
Oh, so, very nice. Oh,
you need a new one, sir. Hearing that anemic amount is scary.
Yeah. So, currently I've got Killing Floor 2, MGS5, Minecraft, Warcraft 3, Hearthstone, and Fallout 4 installed.
Nice.
I've not played Warcraft 3 in forever. I've also not played, MGS in a while, or Minecraft in forever. But they're all quite small, so it's not a big deal apart from MGS.
Yeah, those are minor ones.
Yeah, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, and I've not. That's pretty much all the games I've got installed. But in the past week, I've been playing Killing Floor 2. I've been messing around with that. I quite enjoy playing on the hardest difficulty. Not because I'm good, but because you get more XP from it, and I enjoy leveling up my characters more than anything else for some reason.
That seems crazy because on normal it was so hard. I can't imagine on a harder difficulty.
Oh, you'll find out tonight. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. The game's mostly about moving around as much as you can, as frequently as you can. Don't stop moving.
Yes.
To be honest. So I've been really enjoying Killing Floor. It's good fun. But most of my time has probably been in Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is a brilliant game. I have finished the main storyline.
Oh, really?
As of yesterday, I actually finished the main storyline. That's pretty cool. It turns out, I don't want to spoil too much, but it turns out that there's multiple ways that you can do the main storyline. The way I did it was not necessarily the obvious way I should. So it's faction based.
Okay.
Right? It's probably the best way
well, there's a ton of things you can do for, like, as many ways as you want to get through it.
Yeah, so you can choose whether you want to which faction you want to go with in the end, which is kind of annoying because in a lot of games there's always multiple factions. It's not a choice of like one or the other. Usually it's a choice of like just do you want to be pals with them all? Okay. And it kind of seemed that way in Fallout until you get towards the end. Then it's like, who's your main choice, bro? Who's gonna die? And you're like,
oh, jeez.
So I had to make some difficult decisions. And eventually, it's not just a case of like who you choose and who becomes your enemy, and then that's it. It's then a case of, okay, they're your enemy. Now go kill them all. Kill all your previous friends and family. Destroy them, salt the earth.
This sounds very genocidal.
Yeah, so there was that, which was fun, but at the same time, I was quite sad because I didn't want to say goodbye to all my friends that I liked. Worst, there's this, so you can have companions, right? You have general companions.
Whether they're helpful or not is just under discussion, but yes.
You build a friendship with them over time, and if you are able to, certain ones you're not, you can become more than friends with them. So I became more than friends with the beautiful Irish girl.
Does she have red hair?
What's her name? I think she does. Kate. Yeah, Kate from Fallout 4. So she's great. She's like a tough Irish girl who's like, I fight all the time and drink booze and take drugs and and that's literally just all she is. And she is a redhead, and she is green-eyed, red hair, pale skin, and I'm just like, yes, you will be my companion. And she doesn't complain when I steal, and actually she likes it, which is even better, because I steal a lot. So that was fun running around with her in the wasteland, but then I decided, with this new faction that I found, she doesn't really agree with the way that I'm being pals with these guys.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave her at this safe place. So I left her. You have multiple of your not houses.
Of the areas you build?
Territories that you have multiple villages, territories that you build, bases that you build.
Yeah. Yep.
So I sent her off to one of these, and I was like, cool, she's safe now. Then the very next mission, the very next mission was go blow up that base that's no longer your friend.
Oh no!
And she was my wife at this time.
Oh, you sent your wife out to die.
So I had to go kill my virtual wife. That was quite saddening. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why
you couldn't find a way to get her to, I don't know, come back and go somewhere else before
I could
killing
have,
her?
but I kind of get into the storyline of it, and it was very epic. Go forth now and do the thing that's important. And I was like, okay, I have to disregard I'll sacrifice my own wife in order to save the wasteland.
You haven't told this story to Kitten Features, have you?
No. She doesn't even know. If I told her I had a girlfriend in the game, she'd be like, Ken, we need to have a talk. No, not at all. So that was kind of sad. But then it turned out she was fine. Apparently she can survive nukes, so that's good.
Nice. That's good.
But yeah, as we finished most of the storyline, I'm now trying to walking around the wasteland trying to find other quests. Because I think I'm pretty much done with the game now. I think I'm 45 hours in and I've done most of it.
Well, so that's interesting, right? Because, you say most of it, that's main quest line, because there's a ton of things to do outside of it. I talked to
I've
Tom
done a lot of side quests as well.
Okay. No, because I've talked to Tom Bad Guy, because he's one of the first people who reported to me that he had basically finished the game. And he was like, yep, full, original storyline is done. And I asked him, I was, okay, well, how long did it take you? Because this is something I usually put a good 100 hours-ish into any Bethesda game to finish it. And he told me that in the 2 weeks the game had been out or whatever, he finished the main quest line, was basically done with it after 180 hours in the game.
Wow.
And so, needless to say, I would say he got his money's worth. He definitely got, all he probably needed. So that was cool, and I'm in a way I'm looking forward to it, but I still have not gotten it because I'm trying to hold off and concentrate on other games, try to play as many games as I can, because I know the moment I grab Fallout 4, I'm out. I'm done. That's what I'm doing.
Yep.
And partly it's also because I want to mod the crap out of it. And so I'm waiting for a couple mods to get out first
I've got
for
a few
the prettiness.
Mods. One or two.
Well, there's that, and I am so on this edge of needing to upgrade my whole computer. And so part of me is kind of waiting for that. Do I wait to get Fallout 4 until after I've upgraded my whole PC, and then I can run everything even more ridiculous? Yeah.
Maybe. It's a very good game, though, and it's the kind of game that in a two... You know what Fallout's like. You can come back in 2 years' time and play it again anyway, you know?
Yes, yes you can.
It's like Mass Effect. I've played the whole series 3 times now. I mean,
That's
it's not
impressive.
a case of... It's not a case of you play it and then you're done. It's a case of you're done for now. For the small future, yeah. So I've been playing Fallout. It's awesome, lots of fun. I've installed a bunch of mods. I'll check my downloads and tell you the new ones I've got. I got craftable ammo because I work with 10mm ammo for pistols mainly, and
Can
I
never
have
find it.
6 different guns for different situations that use that ammo,
Okay.
but it's still all using the same ammo, and I keep running out. And every time I go to a shop, I run them dry on ammo, and I still
Gotcha.
can't get enough to maintain my playstyle. And I'm playing this stealthy guy. So, my other preference is probably laser weapons, but how can I possibly be stealthy and have laser weapons. They're literally weapons of light. I mean,
What? You're saying that
it's
big
technically
beam that
possible,
leads
but-
right back to where you shot from isn't stealthy?
No, it's not. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it and everything, but so I felt like I needed to sort of add that mod in. So I've got craftable ammo now. It's not unfair. It's kind of
Well,
as
it's
you'd
still it's
expect
balanced,
kind of
right?
thing.
Because you still have to find the materials in order to craft it, correct?
yeah,
It's not like you can
Yeah,
just sit there and just magically craft as much as you want. So it's one of those things I think they did a decent job being, essentially to balance. There's so many good mods that come out to the games with Bethesda games that aren't broken. It's not like every mod's a cheat. They mod just to make it so that it fixes or adds some kind of gameplay to it that makes sense and fits the world.
yeah,
And that's the stuff
and
that
making
I
ammo
look
is kind
forward
of
to.
a thing you could see actually
Yeah,
happening.
I today can have an ammo reload desk and like go back and reload ammo left and right in today's world, so that makes total sense.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm okay with that. So I got that. I got the Armor Smith Extended, which just adds more armor stuff in. And it also means that when I scrap materials, I get more material back. So it is kind of a cheat in that way, but makes my life a hell of a lot easier. I also installed True Storms, so now instead of like this storm that you can get now get 5 different types of storms. So that's cool.
Very cool.
So small things, really. I've not gotten things that add anime characters or anything
No?
into my game or anything. Oh, and I made Kate have a mod which changes her default old granny outfit into like jeans and a t-shirt, so she looks more like an actual person rather than like a fairy tale. But yeah, that's all Fallout, I think. I played Warcraft 3 for about 15 minutes earlier. I played some
What?
Green TD, as I do sometimes, and that was it. I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone. I actually have now finished the latest expansion, and it's pretty damn good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Got a bunch of new cards, got some new cool stuff. Pretty happy with it. I enjoy the storyline. I enjoy the new mechanics that came around with it, where they try out new things. One of the bosses, for example, in the last wing, he actually steals your deck, and you are given a different one.
Oh, wow.
So sorry to spoil it for folks, because I didn't realize that was going to happen. So I went into the game, and I used what I thought was currently my best deck, and he just took it off me.
Oh!
And I was given some random one, and I got absolutely destroyed because my deck was pretty solid.
No.
I was like, no.
Wait, did you have to play against your own deck?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh, that sucks. So that's one of
With
those where
this
you
random deck given. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And is it like a random thing that he comes up, or do you know you're gonna play him so you could game it ahead of time?
No, you know you're gonna play him. He's
Okay.
called like the Arch Thief as well, so you kind of could have expected it. But it's lots and lots of fun. The whole expansion is lots of fun. I
Nice.
look forward to going back and try and doing all the bosses again. I haven't actually done any of the expansions on repeat yet, which means I've got 3 expansions to go back and play all the way through again. I mean,
Oh,
they're
wow.
so much fun. It's not as if I'm not going to enjoy it. I love doing it, so I'm looking forward to doing that again. But Hearthstone in general, the new expansion is lots of fun. I managed to get to rank 15 this week, highest I've ever been, I believe. Because it goes from you start at rank 25, 24, and then you gain ranks. You go down in number.
Okay.
Once you get to rank 20, you can't go any lower. So if you keep losing, you'll still stay rank 20. But I got to rank 15, then I'm down to like 16, then 18. I don't care. Point is, I got to 15, so I was happy. Sounds good. What else? I've not really been gaming on my phone other than playing checkers and chess, which is
Okay.
so random. I don't know why. I've just been out of. Other than Hearthstone, I've been completely out of gaming on my phone. I just don't. Checkers and chess, and I'm having fun. Don't know why.
That's
Weird.
good. No, fun is what it's about.
I'm tempted to go back and read The Dark Towers by Stephen King right now. I say
Still never
reread.
read those.
Well, with the new film coming out soon.
Yeah, they've
with
talked
actor
about
having
the
been said-
casting. Yep, he's a good actor. I like him, but I just, for whatever reason, could never get into the Dark Tower series.
Idris Elba is the rumor, I believe. and he's to play Roland, the main character. So
Yep.
that would be awesome. Some people are saying, "Oh, it doesn't suit it. It's not how I imagined." I don't know. I think he's a good actor. Who cares? We'll see. I don't know. I'm just excited for the film in general, so we'll see. But I'm really looking forward to the film because of all the racist tones.
Huh.
I think that might be why they're interested in having a black guy, to be honest. Because one of the characters is extremely racist. And just
Interesting.
continually says really racist things. And is condemned for it, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
Eventually, through a long story, becomes a good person in the end.
Okay.
So is kind of redeemed. So I'm interested to see how they do that in this modern age where we're so anti-racism and stuff that I don't know. I think her character might be completely rejected, and they might be having a black male lead for a reason, so that he can react to it, sort of thing. So it'll be interesting regardless. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how the film's going to be, to be honest. It's so back and forth, flying through different realities and different times, and it's going to be a bit hectic. It's going to be interesting to see if they do it right or not. But I'm excited regardless.
Nice.
Other than that, I think that is my week in geek. I think.
Okay.
I should probably make the announcement actually. KenCon 2016. 99% not happy.
No! Ken, no! Don't, no! There's gotta be a way!
So, the thing I was planning on doing, the conference I plan to go to, I have been writing the paper for it, but I've since realized that the quality standards of that conference is quite high, and the paper I'm writing is not necessarily low standard, but it's not new research as much as it's a study of what currently exists and comparing things.
Gotcha.
So it's not new research, right? So, which is what you're supposed to do in your first year of your PhD. So it's not. I'm not doing anything wrong here. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but I just can't write anything of the kind of.
You just don't think it's gonna.
for.
You just don't think it's gonna match or fit with what this is requiring or asking.
There's no internet connection right now because you're in airplane mode.
My phone just okay Googled. I did not say that.
Some
was
other
weird.
random magical word combination you just said for the show. Put it into it.
I guess so. That was weird. That was
The
magical.
dangers of having your phone always listen to you. Ah, well, that is sad to hear, Ken. We were very much looking forward to it. We will just have to find another way to bring you out here so that we can enjoy KenCon at some point in the future. Because
Everybody buy
we
a
need
lottery
it.
ticket.
Yeah. Seriously. Hey, trust me, if I got a lottery ticket, everybody's partying. That's happening. But we'll see. All right. So with that, as the music is telling you, it is now time for...
Technology, news, and more today on the Geekoscope.
And to start things off on the Geekoscope, and I was waiting for you to get back in to talk about this one real quick, but have you heard about or seen the new hardware thing that came out, and this coming from TechCrunch, about the latest Raspberry Pi that came out? The Raspberry
Yes,
Pi
I actually
Zero.
had a in-depth conversation about it with my fellow computing science researchers at the uni, so
All right, so
I
good.
think I have a
We'll-
good grasp on it, yeah.
We'll be able to talk to this, because I figured Kuro would appreciate it too. But essentially, the announcement, and this is a little old, it's out there, it's in the wild now, you can go get it. The Raspberry Pi Foundation is up the ante when it comes to low-cost single-board computers, announcing a new addition to its family of microprocessors called the Pi Zero. And get this, it costs just $5 in the US, £4 in the UK. Or it should cost $5, albeit you might have to shop around to find it. So it comes out and says, we really, quote, we really hope this is going to get those last few people in the door and involved in computer programming, says Pi co-founder Eben Upton in a video about announcing the Pi Zero. They says, we believe it will be particularly useful for people looking to do robotics or Internet of Things projects. Very small, low power, but able to drive a display and keyboard when you want to do debug, Upton tells TechCrunch. And so it goes in there and basically says the original Pi, or the cheapest next Pi in the family is the Model A+, which costs $20, while the full Raspberry Pi, or what is it, should still be like $40, something like that, $35. So it's one of those things I threw out there. The specs on it for $5, which is pretty impressive, is a Broadcom processor pushing application processor. Got a 1 gig ARM 11 core processor, which is 40% faster than the original Raspberry Pi, 512 megs of RAM, a micro SD slot, a mini HDMI that supports up to 1080p 60 Hz output, micro USB sockets for data and power, an unpopulated 40-pin connector header, and it's identical to basically the pinouts of all the other models. And so it's one of those like, bam, everybody should be able to get in there and do things. And
Nice.
so definitely check that out. It's one of those things that I'm excited for because I have a lot of potential projects for Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. In fact, as I talked about my 3D printer, one of the things I first went through is talk about all these potential upgrades to your 3D printer. And one of them is to add an additional daughter board, and I don't think it's a Raspberry Pi though, I think it's a different one, but if that one could run the same software, it'd be great. That can run as a wireless print server, so that you can basically load things into your, actually it's really cool for the 3D printer, the one I saw is a real tiny one, but you could load into the print server so that you don't have to monitor it in person, your prints. And it sets up a web interface where you can log into that and actually view it. And if you have a webcam plugged in, you can view the webcam through it and start and stop the application in case it goes wrong. So you can be 20-hour print, middle of the day, go check it to see is it still working or did something go wrong. And instead of waiting another, I'm not going to be home for 10 hours, it's just going to waste filament. I could just stop it then, which is, things like that. And so, as well as I really want to set up, and Kuro, I need to talk to you about this, and I ordered one of these to try to play with it initially with the Raspberry Pi, but setting up a controller board for individually addressable LED light strips, because I want to be able to like put out these light displays that are RGB, and currently it's just, one whole strip is one color, but they have ones available now that are individually addressable, so you can send a different command and color to every individual light in the strip, but that requires some kind of processor to do it. And essentially you're just sending a command in hex or whatever to a memory address that is for each thing. So I need to learn that level of programming. That little basic early entry level of programming to try to figure that out. That's a project that's near and dear to my heart. And there's so many things you could do with like a $5 board. I could add, $5 board allows me to start making that project I want of like a smart heating and cooling device for my phone if you have to leave it in your car. $5 device lets me make wearable tech way easier and something that small, right? Fully adjustable light suits where I want to make those lights basically into, as Kuro and I had talked, rave suits, but have it actually be able to interact and do things through memory. Things like that can be done with these tiny processors.
I don't know about you, what I really want is, personally, so you're talking about wearable tech. Screw wearable, man. That's the past. That's the past, man.
Okay.
It's all about the future, which is internal tech. I want to get an NFC chip in here or in here. Right?
Well, have you
So I
seen that
can
some people
wave.
have done that? Some
Oh
people,
yeah, I've looked a lot. I've done a lot
the
of
people
videos.
who've done it to unlock their doors, people who've done it to...
That's my plan, exactly.
Yeah, little things like that. Well, like one of the neat ones people have talked about is even things like to make a safety grip for a gun and stuff like that, where you have to have that RFID chip in your hand to actually be able to use the
Awesome.
gun, make smart
That's
guns.
so futuristic.
And things like that. I mean, people have done all kinds of ideas of what you could do with embedded tech. And I say that as long as you're the one embedding it and you're in control of it. 'Cause the fear that
It's
the
so
government...
futuristic, it's so cool. Yeah.
The moment I can
Um,
replace my left eye with a better upgraded bionic one that has ability to record
Done.
and video and zoom, and that eye's gone. The moment that can
Yep.
happen, I'm taking the spoon and getting that robotic eye.
Yep.
So,
Same with
yeah.
like robotic arms and stuff. I mean, like, I enjoy touching and feeling things. Don't get me wrong, but if I can do it more efficiently and get through life more easily, yada yada yada, why wouldn't you?
Hey,
It's
Ghost in the
it's
Shell.
silly not to.
best anime about doing that kind of mods and stuff, Ghost in the Shell. If you ever want to see what a world could be like if you could fully upgrade everything in your body, check out Ghost in the Shell. There's series, there's movies, and I want that world. I think it's amazing. So yeah, I feel you there. All right. Oh, another quick one, just because I'm talking programming, and another one I was waiting for you, Ken. It's a bit of geek trivia, but this one comes out and says the article, and it's on How to Geek, asks the question: which popular video game was written almost entirely in assembly code?
Pong, probably?
So it says popular, and the ones it suggests or says as possibilities. Wait, did it not pull the right? That is not the right link. That's the old link. Why didn't it give me the? Well, it said it'll be in the show notes. The ones he says as options are Half-Life, Duke Nukem, Roller Coaster Tycoon, and The Sims.
I'm gonna go with Roller Coaster Tycoon.
And, sir, you are correct.
Yay! That was a total guess.
So the key is the 1999 smash hit simulator Roller Coaster Tycoon was not only well received by critics and fans alike, but for the era in which it was created, the game had surprisingly complex simulation algorithms and snappy gameplay. What many fans may not realize is that the excellent performance of the game was due to almost entirely the game creator, Scottish game developer Chris Sawyer, writing 99% of the game in assembly code. And for the unfamiliar, assembly code is what is known as low-level programming language that requires a lot more effort to work with than higher-level programming languages because the language has a closer one-to-one association with the actual functions of the computer hardware. You basically are writing to the actual registers.
That's the difference between saying to the computer, hey, draw this thing on the screen, and saying to the computer, 0000100.
Turn on this register, turn off that register, which should allow this register to do this. Oh my god. And they say basically that today it would be unheard of to program a complex video game in assembly language. By the time it was the only way for Sawyer to get the performance out of 1990 era hardware he needed to make the game as enjoyable and complex as he wanted. I throw that out there because I think that is just an amazing little bit of like geek trivia tech thing for anyone who's even touched programming. In fact, that would be one for like Stoner. I think I brought it up to him as well, where I laughed because we were talking about he's going through game design in school in university, and I told him, I was like, hey, you heard this thing? And he was like, what's assembly? And I was like, oh,
well, that's
man.
because he's doing a gaming degree. Which
Yeah, it's
is
a
not
gaming
real
degree.
computing degree.
It's not computer science. Computer science, you will at least, if you don't... My computer science degree, I didn't get to actually play in assembly, but I do know what it is.
Oh, I did.
Right.
I've written code in assembly.
And I say, it is like hardcore, and you do like this much in assembly. It's like, thank God for high-level languages.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I needed to throw that out there because I thought that was truly impressive.
But yeah, I knew a thing or two about the assembly because this whole semester I've received about 40 students' presentations talking about things of that ilk. So if I couldn't work that out from your question, it would have been embarrassing, I have to say.
Yes, as an instructor, I would hope.
Yeah.
All right, sir, I'm going to pass it over to you so that you can give us some geek news this week so I don't monopolize the last, how long do we got? Last 20 minutes? Or 10 minutes, sorry. Time flies.
That's alright. Yes, it does. When we're having fun. Alright. Oh, jeez, I don't know.
If not, I have many.
Yeah, could you grab one? Yeah.
All right, perfect. So this one is kind of a throwback one for everyone who likes old school gaming. And, oh gosh, there's so many good ones here. This one is the best emulator for the Super Nintendo for Windows. And what it comes out, I have actually a couple of these that talk about, well, there's a few things on there for emulator stuff. This one a little bit surprised me because emulators have been out there forever, right? And there's a bunch that work really well. And this one caught me because I had never heard of this specific one, and I've got a few of the great ones out there. In fact, other ones mentioned in the article, but the one they bring up is RetroArch. And they talk about saying, it may be 25 years old, but the Super Nintendo still boasts some of the best video games of all time. If you want Super Nintendos on your Windows machine, we think the best emulator for the job is RetroArch with a BSNES core. So the features and why they bring it up is that it plays games from the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in the form of ROMs, plays games with nearly any USB gamepad and is customizable for the button layout, lets you save and load game state anywhere in the game, rewind the game in real time, which that's a feature I hadn't heard of before, adjust a myriad of video settings including adding old school effects and shaders to make it look like an old CRT instead of a modern LCD, record a video of your playthroughs built into it and save it as a BSV file, and play online with friends using NetPlay, which that feature alone sounds pretty awesome. And I'm curious, it talks about how to set it up, and they do say this one takes a little bit of effort to get together, which is part of the problem, as well as it actually takes a lot of processing power to get to run right. Because the other one they bring in, the two other ones, which are SNES 9X and ZNES, which I've used both of, work really well even on low-level hardware. They actually suggest running like a 3 gigahertz processor at least to run the BSNES one with the RetroArch. And they say that because it's the first one they found that truly recreates all of the hardware processing that the Super Nintendo did while not utilizing any of the code that Nintendo has. And so this is a completely open legal emulator. And that they didn't steal any code. So it's just something to throw out there because I do love me some old school gaming. And threw it out
That's
there
cool.
as something that it's neat to see that the community continues to upgrade and do new things with emulation, because I thought this would have been dead and done by now, right? Super Nintendo, it's been out 25 years. It's been emulated for over a decade. How would there be more? But apparently there is. So throwing it out there, thought that's really cool. But there's a few options out there if you're into the old school gaming. All right, sir, do you have one for us now?
Yes, I gotta say, I've gone past the past 10 days of news on IGN, and it's almost entirely still Fallout 4 related.
Hey,
It is ridiculous.
the Steam list doesn't lie. Most people I have on the list play Fallout 4 more than any other game.
Absolutely ridiculous. Alright, so this is a random one that I found earlier this week. Just on a whim, I googled Halo 3 PC. Because I thought to myself, you know what, I love that game. I'd love to be able to play it on PC right, since I've lost my disc. And therefore I can never play it again because Microsoft believes CDs are still important. So screw you, Microsoft. Can't play the game that I own. Right.
That is thus digital libraries.
Yeah. So 8 years after the Halo 3 came to Xbox 360,
Yeah.
it's coming alive for free on the PC, but not in the hands of Microsoft or Bungie. And one of the
What?
strangest things to happen on PC, it says this year, this was, oh, it is this year. Actually, it was only a few months ago. Huh.
Nice.
And one of the strangest things to happen on PC this year, Halo 3's protracted PC birth is coming from a game of modders, transforming the free-to-play, Russia-only beta Halo
Ah.
Online into their favorite Halo game. So you
Interesting.
see the one sad thing here. Yeah, kind of a shame. Still, I'm very excited for the fact that even if it's all in Russian, I don't really care. For years, Halo was a crucial console-exclusive system seller for Microsoft. When it finally came to the PC again earlier this spring, but was region-locked, fans moved fast. They created El Dorito, a mod that cracked the Russia-only restriction within a week of Halo Online's reveal. Named as a portmanteau of El Dorado, the name of the Halo Online executable, and Dorito, Microsoft's favorite corporate sponsor, El Dorito has been programmed
Nice.
over the past few months by a group of between 10 and 20 modders. Because Halo Online is built on over the top of more or less complete version of Halo 3's engine, the El Dorito modders have been working to pull together what they really want from the shell of Halo Online, Halo 3 on PC.
Nice.
So it's pretty exciting. I for one freaking loved Halo. I can't exaggerate that enough. Halo was one of my favorite things ever on Xbox, and lots of my best gaming memories are actually from console, believe it or not. So why not upgrade it onto PC?
Well, that's one of those things that we talk about forever. That it's funny is as you come out of this one, I'll bring up the article I have, but it's mine's 5 games you should play on PC instead of your PlayStation or Xbox.
Yeah.
But
like it.
yeah, essentially it's the same concept, which is, these games come out and they're great on the console when they come out, but we all know the PC is better hardware and allows more flexibility. Release everything on PC. I know that's going to hurt your console sales, but you may sell more games in the whole, because there are games I will never buy or play because I am not going to go buy an Xbone or a PS4. There's nothing compelling for me. But if you were to release Halo 5 on the PC, I would have already bought it. That kind of thing. It's just like, stop the exclusivity. I understand between console, fine. Only PS4, only Xbox, but PC Master Race. Feed us. So, other
Yeah,
comments
no,
on that?
that-
No, I think that's awesome. I look forward to seeing they actually come further. I have it on my Xbox, but I'd like to see more of this happen with the future games and the further ones coming up. So, there's that.
Definitely, sir. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Hopefully it actually comes out a non-Russian version. We'll see what happens with that.
That would be nice to see.
Indeed. Do you have another one, sir?
I do.
Or
So
should I-
following up on what you said, the article I posted in there, which is from Business Insider, it says 5 games you should play on the PC instead of the PlayStation or Xbox. We all know why. It goes in there and talks about all the better features of the expandability, the mods, the power of a PC, and what you can end up doing. Essentially what this does, it just gives you a side-by-side comparison of a lot of these games with their default settings, and it shows how much better it runs and looks on the PC. An example they bring up is Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, because go figure, I mean, Kuro knows, he plays it in 4K, which guess what the consoles will never be able to do. But it shows even on the base settings how much better performance and better visuals you get on the PC versus either of the others. It shows he does Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and shows specifically how much better the resolution of the textures and things like that are in Black Ops 3. They also bring up Star Wars Battlefront, which if you haven't seen it, there's a video out there you can look up. There's several of Battlefront being run on PCs at 4K 60 frames per second. And there's YouTube videos of it in 4K 60 frames per second. If you happen to have the PC or something to look at it, check that out. So Battlefront's another one. If you like the game, might as well. And one of the other ones is Metal Gear Solid 5, which, duh, as well as GTA 5. And I know that GTA 5 has recently also got a mod that might actually break even PCs, where they update all kinds of the textures to these 4K textures and make the game look almost realistic, like super nice in the cars and buildings, stuff like that, in that engine. So if you have the hardware to run it, I mean, even our base hardware for most people's gaming PCs now still outstrips the new or the current generation of consoles. You're already probably above and beyond. If you're listening to our show, if you have a PC, you're probably already better than the current consoles. So if you can get it on PC, you'll probably have a better experience there. So that's kind of the follow-up to that. But, I mean, that's something we all knew.
Agreed.
So that's just kind of an article following up on what you're saying with the Halo news. And damn it, PC Master Race. Feed us. All right. With that, it is time for us to get out of here. As always, it's amazing how quickly time flies.
Oh, it always does.
And so with that, I'll, Ken, let you run us out of the show. But remember, everybody, Gaming Night tonight, jump into the TeamSpeak. If you don't know how to get there, go to the front page of VTWProduction.com. Look at the left side of the screen, just under our little play button for listening to our show live as well as the archives. And you can jump in and play some games with us. That's got all the TeamSpeak information, where we'll be talking about the games we're playing. Today, we're highlighting Killing Floor 2. So make sure you got that all set up, and we'll see you shortly. Ken, go ahead and lead us out.
Alright, you can listen to ShowX on VTWProductions.com. Check us out on Twitter.com/VTWShowX for the show itself's account. Twitter.com/DocDead for Mr. Wayne here's own personal Twitter account. And check out mine, Twitter.com/GoHex for political intrigue and devil's advocacy. Check us out on Facebook, search for ShowX there and you'll find us. Send us an email, showx@VTWProductions.com. Support us with your pennies on patreon.com/showx. And also check out all the other shows on VTWProductions.com as well as on Alpha Geek Radio. Those guys are freaking awesome. They support us. And therefore we must support them because they deserve it and have earned it with all their assistance for us. They are our brother, our sister, our Alpha Geek station. Go check those guys out, they're awesome. And with that, thank you very much for having me on the show, sir.
Thank you very much for joining me, Ken. As always, much good times on the network. Last thing, just, it's holiday season, it's a gift-giving season. If you don't know what gift to give to any of your friends out there, think of not only the games on Steam like we all do and our gifting forum tree will do, but another option, and this just because I love the guy and the work he did, but a great thing to do, as we talk about in this day and age, is not enough people necessarily sit down and read a good book. So something you could easily give to people is a gift of literature. And I support and suggest John Wasick's book, Sword of Dragons. He was on the show and talked to us. I have a link in the show notes at the top of the page about his Amazon store. He recently, if you missed it, I'm sorry that you missed it, but he did a promo last week where you could get his digital copy for free for a couple days over the weekend, but that is now done. But his book is all of like $14 on Amazon, and it's great with Amazon shopping. You can just send it directly to someone's door, and they'll even wrap it for you if you pay for the gift wrapping. So easy to do, so maybe send someone a book. There's an option. Alright, that's it. We're out of here. We will see you guys again next week. Bye!
Goodbye. See you in the next zombie.